Hello everybody and welcome back. ZeniMax did a live stream today about the upcoming plans for the 2020 year for ESO in the dark heart of Skyrim, and we learned a lot about what we're going to be seeing this year, but they still left quite a bit under wraps about what we'll be seeing in the later half of the year, but we got a lot of information nonetheless. So the first big piece, of course, is going to be the timeline. We are going to be seeing the Q1 patch on the PTS by next week. So I would assume Monday or possibly Tuesday if it takes them a bit of time to get it on there. We'll be on the PTS and we'll be testing out the new patch. Now, this is pretty much going to be a dungeon DLC. We likely will see some balance changes in this coming patch as well. But the big thing coming this patch is the patch overhaul, taking 30 gigabytes of game size off the game. Now, I don't really know much about coding at all, but 30 gigabytes less game size, it sounds to me like they went in and they removed a bunch of stuff that didn't need to be there or reworked things that weren't working as effectively as they could. And yeah, it's going to be big. And yeah, this fix, they said, is going to be affecting a lot of things. Rich kind of said that it was one of the biggest performance changes slash fixes that they've kind of have coming forward this year. It should make your load screens faster. You should have a better frame rate. The patches themselves will be much smaller now. The new patches coming forward as well, and that means that the server downtime will also be a lot shorter as well. Now, they did specifically say that you will see these increases in every zone in the game, including Cyrodiil. So for us PvP players who have been kind of slugging through the lag in this game for years, this is a huge change, and this is something that I really want to keep my eye on. Going on to the PTS, I want to see how things feel, I want to see how big the game is, but once it hits the live server, we'll really see that test of if these changes are actually giving us the performance fixes that we need. So this is, of course, the Harrowstorm Q1 patch, and like I said, that will be on the PTS in about 1 week, and we will likely see it on the live server in about a month from now. Now, moving on to Q2 slash the rest of this update, they didn't give us a finite date of when we'll be seeing this next piece, but it has been confirmed that Vampirism is getting reworked. And this rework is pretty much going to cover everything that Vampirism kind of affects. We're going to get new abilities, the passives will be changed, there will be a new ultimate, which they didn't say at first, but they confirmed later that it will in fact be the Vampire Lord ultimate. And the big thing is that Vampirism will now be an illegal act like necromancy. So this will be very interesting to see how this plays out in the game. From the lore perspective, I really like that they're going this shift with Vampirism, especially since they're doing this rework of the skill line anyway, and it'll be really cool to see the new skills that we get. I personally love some of the vampire abilities, and they're very integral to the favorite build that I play, so I hope that ZeniMax preserves what Vampirism is now and builds upon it instead of maybe take away from what we have. Judging by just the video we got, we will likely see some cool new vampire abilities. I almost want to say something like a mist dash. The mist form in the video was very fast, and it reminded me a lot of my personal playstyle when I play my Templar, that fast mist dashing around. So yeah, I am excited to try this new skill line, and I would love to hear what you guys think about it. And the next big announcement that they gave was Antiques, which I would assume is going to be a new crafting skill line. So I don't know if this is for sure because they didn't give us any concrete details. They just talked about it a bit, and they said that there's going to be two things, archaeology and excavation, which are going to be the two skill lines, I assume. And you're basically going to use these two skills alongside some puzzles, etc., that you're going to have to do, and exploration over the world to get antiques. Now, antiques are going to be all kinds of different treasures that you can get after doing these games, and essentially it's going to be things like new housing items, new mounts, new gear, and new siege. Now, the new gear that they provide are called Mythic Items, and these are kind of lore-friendly items that they're adding to the game that are unique one-piece items is the way that they were describing them. They said a Mythic Item is an item that is going to be gold at CP 160, and it gives a special bonus. It's not going to be locked into weapon, jewelry, or anything. A Mythic piece is just going to be whatever that Mythic piece is going to be. Now, each Mythic piece will have its own kind of unique one-piece bonus. They mentioned 2 items items during the stream. The first being a necklace that increases your movement speed by 10% while you're in combat and doubles your movement speed outside of combat, and the other being an item that restores magicka as you block attacks. Now, I'm going to assume these won't be the only two we will see. We will likely see tons of unique mythic items, but the big thing to note about these pieces of gear is that you can only have one mythic item equipped at a time. So I'm a pretty big fan of the addition of this new skill line or skill lines. I like the idea of getting really cool epic gear from a source that isn't necessarily combat. We have tons of gear in this game, and pretty much all of it comes from combat activities, so I do really like that. As for how strong these items will be, I assume there will be some that will be considered very good. I'm sure that ZeniMax will go through balance passes with them, and like I said, you can only equip one at a time, so you kind of have to choose between what kind of strong bonus you want on your build or which one fits into your build. And of course, over this year, I think we can definitely expect to see a lot of new sets, dungeon sets, crafted sets, sets from the new Overland content as well. And they did talk a little bit about the new PvE zone, 40% of which is going to be in a giant underground cavern. I don't do a ton of PvE stuff, but that does sound really interesting to me. And the last little teaser we got is this crossbow shot. I'll leave you guys to think what you want about it. It looked like possibly a movement-based synergy, or maybe offhand crossbow. Yeah, I'm thinking probably a synergy here. But anyway, I would love to hear what you guys think about the upcoming Dark Heart of Skyrim updates that they've given us. What do you guys think about this new content, and what do you guys want to see going forward? If you guys enjoyed the video, hit that like button. If you're new here, hit that subscribe button. Give me a follow on Twitter to keep up to date with my shenanigans. We've got live stream goodness on Twitch if you want to catch that there. If you want to send in a clip to be featured in the top 5 or a build to be featured on the channel, you can send that to KristoferESO@hotmail.com. We are sponsored by What the Fast. They're a VPN for gamers. They give me better ping to my favorite games, and they are free to try for the first month via the link in the description below. A huge thank you to my patrons on Patreon. The help that you guys give me is it's a lot of help, and without it, I wouldn't be able to do this job, so I really mean it when I say thank you guys. I love doing this, and I want to keep paying it forward. I want to keep making sure that I can give you guys the best content possible. And last but not least, guys, a little bit of an update on an old character that I started a long time ago. I finally hit rank 13 on my level 13 Warden just from repairing walls. I'm going to be working on this character more in the future, but just a little bit of a fun goodbye here. Have a great night, everybody, and I'll see you next time.